Greetings and salutations. My name is OJ as always, and welcome back to what will be technically the start of a new series on the channel. As some of you may know, after I finished all of my videos on the characters from Deadlock, I opened up a poll to see what people may want to see from me next, and, well, per the vote, Overwatch. So we're going to do an Overwatch series, and if you are curious on what the name of it will be, it's going to be an Overwatch-a-thon, because that seems to just kind of be the trend with all of my series so far. I mean, DBD-a-thon, Deadlock-a-thon, so why not have an Overwatch-a-thon, right? And, you know, I have absolutely no problems with this. I mean, I don't have any problems with the two games listed or any of the suggestions in the comments, but Overwatch is a comfortable game for me because I've been playing this game since it came out. Basically, since it came out. I think I got it in like June of 2016, so about a month-ish after the game actually came out for the first time. I love Overwatch. I know that's a horrific thing for some of you to say, but no matter how bad this game gets, it's still going to hold a special place in my heart, unless you're Overwatch 2 Season 9. And then I hold you in the hate of my heart. I hated that season. I despised it. I didn't even play it. I think I was tier 1 in the Battle Pass by the end of it all. But either way, this video is going to be kind of like a question thing of what people would want me to do with it, because actually, before we get to the questions part, for those that want to know how these videos are going to be structured, they are going to be structured basically the exact same way as the other two series on the channels were. Like, for example, in the Deadlock-a-thon, I went over lore, gameplay, or lore and personality, gameplay, and design. That exact same principle is going to apply to the Overwatch characters. I will be covering their lore and stories, their personalities, their gameplay, and their design. But I'm going to throw in a little something extra from the Dead by Daylight series, where I'm actually going to discuss cosmetics, as in my favourite and least favourite cosmetics for a hero, as well as that will kind of just allow me to generally talk about how cosmetics are treated in this game, as I'm sure you've seen many discussions if you're involved in Overwatch's communities on who gets skins and who doesn't and how it's distributed, blah blah blah. I have my own piece to say on it. And if you're curious on the order of characters that we're going to be going in, I'm going to start kind of backwards, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do supports in alphabetical order, then damage in alphabetical order, and then finally tank in alphabetical order. The only reason I'm doing tank last instead of first is because, as some of you may know, we are set to get a new character sometime soon, who on her title so far is, well, 45, but in Roman numerals, and she also has been referred to as a she-wolf. She's probably going to be a tank. Some people have been saying, oh, she might be a DPS, but that kind of breaks the pattern of how characters are normally released. This character is probably going to be a tank, so I'm leaving tank for last in the potential case that I'm able to make a video on her when she actually comes out, or during her trial phase, which should be sometime in the next month or so. We know how I am by now. We know that I'm not going to do a video every single day. I am going to take breaks. So as a result, I'm not going to, do all 44 characters back to back to back to back without any stoppage. So there will probably be enough time for me to cover her once her trial comes out. And honestly, by the time I finish all these characters, she may have actually just came out anyways. But either way. Now onto the questions part. Now you have the idea of what the layout's going to be. Almost the exact same as the Deadlock one, but we're going to go alphabetical order. So that means the first character is going to be Anna. Now, I did mention that I wanted to cover lore, and this is where one of the questions lie. Would you want me to read all of their lore? I don't know why, just probably part of my autism in some way, shape or form, but I do struggle to kind of like condense things down. I struggle to like, what would you call it? Summarize things? Summarizing is a kind of hard thing for me to do. Not sure why it is, but it just kind of is. You see in all of this, you see in all these walls of text, look at all this lore. And it just keeps going, by the way. It just keeps going and going and going. I'm not even kidding. We're at this point here, and you've seen how much I've scrolled down, right? This point here is only after Anna loses her eye. Like, we're still going. We're still going. Still going. Yep. There we go. There we should. Do you see how much lore there is to cover? Do you see how much like story there is? I know this is like just I know the Overwatch wiki just kind of lists the things word for word, bar for bar, or literally just describes what is happening in these comics that get released. But still, some of this stuff could be important to mention, and I'm not sure whether or not people would want me to kind of just summarize important events to the best of my ability, or whether they would want me to read the entire thing, or whether they would want me to just kind of read these segments. Because as I noticed through a couple other characters, these first segments here kind of do the summarizing for me, if that makes sense. Like, oh, Anna was regarded as one of the world's most deadly snipers, blah blah blah. Like, this is kind of her story, ignoring obviously the more intricate stuff about her. And I don't know, would people want to, would you, the viewer, whoever you may be, would you want to see me go full in depth into these characters' lore and then like move on to others? Like, I don't know. Would you want me to make, maybe, there is so much lore here, I actually honestly am considering maybe doing separate videos, like doing one half story, one half everything else, but then that becomes an issue of kind of splitting up views amongst videos and prolonging a series, and I don't know. I like to kind of keep everything concise and in one big video at once, so I don't know. That's the first of my questions, whether or not you would want me to like cover all of the lore. I mean all of this, but the thing is, right, it varies from character to character. Like, I've pulled up Baptiste and Brigitte, who will be the characters that come after Anna. Baptiste is on a similar level where there is, you know, quite a lot of lore to discuss, but then if I went to Brigitte, there isn't actually that much. Like, this still looks like a lot, right, but this isn't as much compared to, you know, Baptiste and Anna, who have these like actual walls of text. So it's a curiosity on whether people would want me to read all of this or kind of summarize it to the best of my ability, which may hamper the sort of video's quality, because as I said, I'm not very good at summarizing things. And the second thing I do want to ask, and I want to be quite honest about, is whether or not you actually want a video tomorrow, because per some of you, as you probably play this game, I mean 42% of you voted for it out of 200 or something, so I presume some of you do play it. The new season drops tomorrow, and unfortunately, due to how time works for me and me not being able to just be on my PC 24/7, I wouldn't actually be able to do a video on Anna before or until like the season for me would release at 7 PM on like tomorrow, right? And if I did a video on Anna, that would be like 3 or 4 hours before the new season releases. And I don't want to make a video on Anna, cover her gameplay and talk about stuff and talk about her perks just for this new season to come out and, I don't know, nerf Anna into the ground or give her 2 new perks and get rid of 2 that I literally made a video on praising or something. So that's the other question I wish to pose. Whether you want me to just kind of wait till the 15th to make the video on Anna? Like, I mean, that would obviously give me time to, I don't know, that would give me actually time to see what the responses to this video would be in terms of, you know, oh, do you want me to read out all of the lore and the such? But yeah, that's the other question I want to pose. Whether or not you want a video tomorrow on Anna, and as a result, potentially having it become redundant, barely even like 3 hours after it goes up or something silly like that. But yeah, this is just a quick video. I was going to discuss some general lore stuff, but I will mention stuff like the Omnic Crisis a lot, and I will give a quick refresh on what this is every time it pops up. For those that don't know or need a refresher, this used to be the intro to the game back in Overwatch 1. I'm sure some of you probably remember it. But either way, it was a rebellion war led by Omnics against human creators, led by a god program known as Anubis. Basically, said god program was mind controlling every single Omnic into waging a war, because Anubis believed that humanity would not be able to suffice in keeping the planet alive for the next such and such years. And then after sort of, I think it was after like 2 years, a Omnic known as Aurora, which was the first quote-unquote sentient Omnic, sacrificed herself, giving sentience to every single Omnic that was alive at the time. So sentient Omnics are a finite species, and once all of them die, there will be no more sentient Omnics. It's a very kind of 1 in a million sort of thing. A very interesting choice. And I also would like to say this immediately as well. This is a go ahead for the rest of this series. Overwatch is an incredibly diverse game. There are people in this game from across the globe, from all walks of life, from cultures that I may not understand or fully get. I do apologize in advance if I maybe get names wrong or don't fully understand certain cultural things. But know that I am the woker and I love diversity. I'm going to make it very clear when a character is part of the LGBTQ community in any way, shape or form, because here's a fun fact, I am part of that. I'm pansexual. I share a sexuality with Lifeweaver. Like, I'm going to make it very clear on a lot of things, and I will not compromise when talking about characters, backgrounds, diversity. I will make mention of when a character is something maybe that I don't see very often. Like, please do tell me, when was the last time you saw a Danish character in a game? Freya is Danish, right? I did not just mess that up. She is Danish. Okay, thank God. But yeah, you get the idea. I'm going to be stressing the nationalities. If inclusion and stuff is something that comes up, I am going to mention it. And if that upsets you, sorry to say, this is probably not the game for you. I have no idea why you would be playing Overwatch and hate diversity when the game has one of the most diverse casts, at least ethnically, in any game ever. Like, every single character here, for the most part, is from somewhere else in the world. I mean, there's obviously a few repeats, like American characters. There's like, what, Ash, Cass, Soldier. I think that's all of. No, there's definitely other. Like, there's a few repeats, like Farah and Anna both being Egyptian and stuff like that. But for the most part, this game is incredibly diverse, and I will be making sure to mention that. Like, just you wait till we get to Ramatra. I'm sure some people are not going to like what I have to say about him. As in, I'm very, very positive about him. Ramatra's my favorite character in the entire game. For those that aren't aware, one of my first ever videos was a video on Ramatra. Like, do you see this hour and 14? I could talk about this character for days on end. I love Ramatra. Ramatra is easily my favorite character in this entire game. But yeah, this is literally one of my first videos ever. Do not watch it. I'm gonna be honest, do not watch this. This was a video where I actually tried to like use a script and stuff, and it just resulted in the video sounding really awkward. It sounded like I have a gun pointed to my head, like at all times. Like I was being forced to make this video. Null Sector had me captured, and it was either make this video and praise Ramatra or die. And the music's too loud, and it's obviously a sign of, you know, how far I've come and how much better my content has got. I know I'm joking about it, but yeah, my content has gotten better, and I'm not afraid to admit that. But yeah, do let me know on the questions I asked if you've already forgotten. It's whether you want me to read out all of the characters' lore and whether or not you want a video tomorrow, because obviously Overwatch's new season comes out tomorrow, and that will come with a bunch of balance changes, which may ruin a video on Anna. But otherwise, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and go watch my Hades 2 video. I would say I put a lot of effort into it, but by technicality, I didn't really put too much effort into it. It's just me blabbering for like an hour and 10. Either way, if you're interested, go watch that video. And yeah, hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and take care.